Let's talk about that gig and get that out of the way because everybody's want to hear about it. Are you nervous taking over from the Wogan?
Of course I am, because the point is, it's not really a job at all. It's only a job because Terry Wogan's made it one. 35 years ago when he went out to do the first one, presumably they just wanted him to kind of, fill in a little when they were speaking French or, and he turned it into this institution. So I imagine that for my first outing in Moscow, I'll be quite quiet. You won't hear much from me. And if I get to do it again, maybe I'll build my role. But I'm nervous, but also it is an honour in that, Terry's kind of handing over the mantle, and I'm sure a lot of people would have wanted that gig. And it's the sort of gig you can't turn it down. It's very hard following Terry. It'd be nicer if someone else had done it and failed. And then I could have done it. But I'm afraid someone else is going to get that privilege. They can take it over after I've failed.
And are you remotely bothered by the fact that the show is a farce?
Look, it's always been a farce in that it's a singing competition. That's what it is. It's a song contest. It clearly isn't, you can't take it very seriously. You're not saying who's done the best operation on a brain, who's developed the best drugs for something. It's a song contest. It's people wandering out singing songs. It's a lovely, happy thing.
But it does appear that Terry's now taking it a bit seriously to walk away from it because politically it's a farce. That seems ironic in itself.
Yeah, Terry last year did seem to get quite worked up by the voting. And I suppose it is frustrating because he's seen it all over the years. We're sat in our armchairs. It's harder to care. Maybe when I get to Moscow, I'll care deeply. And actually, I will care deeply because myself, Andrew's writing the song this year and we're finding the person to send. So I suppose I will have a bit of a vested interest in the UK entry, and I think we might do better because it's good to have a big name like Andrew attached. Because that was one of the things Terry was saying, that if we sent Take That or Elton John or Rod Stewart or somebody, we would do better. So I think having a really well-known figure like Andrew writing the song, it tells Europe, it gives a good message that we are taking it more seriously.
Let's talk about your live shows on a Saturday night. I'm fascinated by them and how you present them because you've got hundreds of people in the studio, in the crew and the cast and of course the audience, and then millions at home. How do you keep hold of the fact that you've got to look totally calm and collected and completely relaxed?
In those big Saturday night shows, I suppose I've been lucky because you're quite right, but you should be absolutely terrified. But what's good is because I've got all these kids backstage who are going to come out and sing with a big live orchestra, they are so nervous. So actually any nerves I have are for them because all I have to do is manage to walk down some stairs and read a bit, and they have the tough job. So in a way, it kind of takes the pressure off, so it's easy to relax.
Do you think having done years of stand-up helps? Because if your auto cue goes down, you can ad-lib, whereas a newsreader who hasn't got that skill might not be able to cope as well.
It does help. I do feel sorry for newsreaders because it's much harder to ad-lib news. Other things I imagine might have happened today.
Well, your monologue's an ad-lib of the news.
Yes, I suppose it is. It probably does help that I've got that back. Also, I'm sort of, I'm confident that once there's an audience, there'll be something to do to fill the time. You can just chat to them or whatever. But it's also it's trusting the team as well, because there's all those people backstage or behind the scenes who have put so many kind of things in place. There's structure. If this happens, this will happen. If this goes wrong, so there's always backup plans and all those sorts of things. When I started doing the big Saturday night shows, if you look closely, you could occasionally see a little twitch in my eye. And even now, it's that bit at the end when someone's counting in your ear, so you've got to stop. Casual to be on in a minute. That's still quite stressful. Kind of it's like parking the car with people watching.
And I noticed in those Saturday night shows as well, they allow you to have the odd camp aside. How many of those are you allowed a series?
We've never counted them. It's whatever. It's one of those things. It's when they're appropriate and when they're funny enough and when they're right. You couldn't do them all the time.
I enjoyed the ones in the songs when you'd have a drum or something. They were nice.
Well, yeah, they were nothing to do with me. I had no interest in doing them, but they made me do them. I didn't want to.